Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Not intended for children. You mean we're going to have drag queens in here or something like that? Or
Well, I mean, we've already got a couple of trannies in here, right?
where?
Jeez.
Who's working?
And
who's
we're all banned from Twitter now. Thanks, Perth. You know about that wage, don't you? I made a joke, a song joke, about here's a tranny, there's a tranny, everywhere a fucking tranny, and I wrote this on Twitter in a group of other trans women and got banned for a week.
Doesn't surprise me.
I'm like, context, people, context.
Yeah,
well,
the
that's
social
the
media
thing.
bots.
It's not people, it's bots, and bots cannot understand.
And even when they
context.
say
Yeah.
you appeal and a person looks at it, no, they don't. They never do.
Nope.
Still not my best ban on Twitter. My best ban on Twitter is I got banned for posting a picture of a Dalek, and saying we should exterminate all viruses. And I got banned for inciting violence and threatening to kill people.
I was permanently banned from Twitter.
I know you were. What did you do, Jenny?
I don't know specifically, but I imagine it's because I am rather forceful and semi-mean against fascists and Nazis and say terrible things.
Yeah, but they're worse than everyone else.
I think I offended this one particular religious zealot, and it's just vibes. I have no proof that they did a targeted mass reporting.
I know the TERFs gang up on us, but the religious are worse. And religious TERFs are the worst of the lot, which is most of the TERFs.
Yeah.
Well, from my experience with these bots that police these social media outlets, Facebook is even worse than Twitter.
Yeah, I only talk to people I know on Facebook. I've got it set so people can't even see my profile if I don't friend them. So
I have to admit that I am very, very unhappy that I'm not on Twitter. It's really pretty much destroyed my entire life.
no,
Because I don't have anybody to contact anymore.
Yeah,
And nobody.
that's the only reason I stay on Twitter. Is it's the only way I have to contact a bunch of people.
I was so glad when I realized you were streaming. Perhaps because I was bored as hell.
I go over to Discord and there's, people post so infrequently there, and I'm like 50 years in the.
Yeah,
in
you're
the past.
isolated there.
It's pretty awful.
Yeah. Okay. I am gonna have to keep this one very short today because I had tried to schedule things with the idea that I'd be doing this till 2:00, and then I've got appointments.
Oh,
But
that's okay.
things were going wrong this morning. I'm gonna have to cut it off at 1:30, so I've got time to do my makeup before I run out.
Oh, very short.
Yeah.
Oh, Pixar, it didn't happen. Sorry, that's just not fair. I would totally understand if people said that to me if I said I was doing my makeup, because I so rarely wear any. People would have to say, Pixar, it didn't happen, Jen.
Well, I don't do much for makeup. It's mostly,
Maybe.
just enough to cover up the problems with my face.
You don't have problems with your face. I've seen your face.
Yeah, but shaving every day, I pretty much always have some cuts and things I need to cover.
Better razor.
I have tried many. My
Really?
skin just doesn't take this every day. I really have very soft skin and very stiff facial hair. It's not a good combination.
Women's
No.
razor on the face?
What's that?
Do you use a men's razor on your face, or do you use a women's razor?
There's no difference.
They're actually using some of the spacing on some brands.
Well, if it's an issue of spacing, I have to use the one with the blade spaced wider because I have such coarse hair.
Yeah, so go for a women's.
Hmm.
Leg razors
Well,
have
not
wider
specifically,
spacings,
but-
and you'll have, yeah. It depends on the brand, though.
I might have to try that myself, seeing as I have really coarse facial hair.
It's a weird thing, but it depends on the brand, and and the gender they're designed for, but raisers are slightly different. And it's worth experimenting a bit to find out. But
I see. I have so much trouble accepting that because of the existence of the pink tax and everything. I mean,
they are different, but they're not different enough to justify the extra expense.
I would have tended to agree with Jenny that I don't think the companies would go through the expense of actually making things differently.
And oddly enough, that's been my experience. But maybe it's an Australian thing. Maybe we just get better raises. Maybe we just get better raises in Australia.
You people in Australia are much closer to ancient humans than we are. So
but we're also closer to China, so everything comes out of there. So maybe.
Do you get any balloons flying over?
No. Well, not that I've noticed, but I've been in a hospital for 5 weeks, so.
God, that's awful.
Yeah, I've had a couple of days out though. I came out on Saturday and went back in Sunday morning via ambulance, but I was all right. Nothing had happened. I was having some symptoms, and they were worried that maybe something had happened to the pacemaker, and so I went by ambulance, and there was nothing wrong with it. It was just me. In the it turned out it was me reacting badly to a drug. So how's that? And then I came back out again on Monday and went back in today for the other surgery. But there hasn't been a day in the last 5 weeks I haven't been at this hospital, either in it or as an outpatient. So,
the perp, we're getting requests on when are we going to start talking about the title, the topic for the day.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Sorry, I sidetracked the entire conversation.
No, that's okay.
Own personal narcissistics.
I was kind of hoping
Hey,
Stephanie
everyone in
would pop
chat.
in for this one.
What's that, Mage?
I was hoping Stephanie would pop in for this one.
I don't know if
where's all the night crew?
warships are really her thing.
Yeah, well, still sailing.
Warships aren't my thing either.
At least it's something connected to.
Although
water.
kind of good, we've got an Australian in this one.
What do I need to know?
Not really. It just touches on some Australian history as well.
So what is
HMS Sydney? Are we?
Well, it is Asiatic Memorial Fleet Day.
Oh, and what is that, pray tell?
Do you know how little I know about that?
It is to commemorate the ships and the men that sailed in the Asiatic Allied fleet in World War II, specifically March 1st, 1942. It was a combined fleet of U.S., British, Australian, and Dutch warships that were on patrol because they knew there were Japanese ships in the area. And they knew they were looking for a much bigger force. They knew going out that they were going to be outnumbered if they found it. And they were. And the long and short of it is the end result was the USS Houston and the Australian cruiser Perth were sunk.
Boy, that kind of hurts since I live in Houston.
And I'm in Perth at the moment.
Oh, yeah, apparently Greg Hartwick knew something about it.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. Sorry, war is not my thing. You have the wrong Australian here. What you need is Matt.
Okay, the Everston.
He'll be asleep.
NJ, you'll have to fill me in on the Everston.
NJ, why don't you hop in and fill everyone in?
Okay, that was Dutch destroyer. I knew that the De Ridder was a Dutch cruiser that had also been present in that fleet.
Do they have more than one ship? Do the Dutch have more than one ship?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like double Dutch.
Okay.
That's in better taste than the joke I had.
Well, at least it was G-rated,
Yeah, mine wasn't.
Well, when they went out, the Dutch paid for half of it.
Well, that's just because they're egalitarian.
Now, do you know where that phrase "going Dutch" comes from?
Somebody who's immigrating to Holland. I don't know.
No, it was because in the 16th century, the Dutch freighters pretty much had a lock on the trade of tea from Ceylon. So some of the British traders finally decided that, okay, rather than competing with them, we're just going to, invest in some of the Dutch ships that will pay half the cost, we'll get half the profits, and it's going to be easier than our ships trying to sink each other.
Yeah. So how much?
So
of
that's
the
where
tea that
paying
was
for
dumped in
half
the sea
got
was
known as
Dutch?
going Dutch.
I see.
Interesting.
Which begs the question: how much of the tea dumped in the sea was Dutch?
It's not really that interesting.
Well, and I know my
It's not.
grandfather was Dutch.
Well, I don't want to dox myself on air. My new name is Dutch.
Ah.
Just because it came out to be very poetic and fitting for me.
Huh. I see. So what finally happened in this battle that occurred? You said there were 2 ships sunk, the Dutch and the American ship. What happened to the rest?
The other ships retreated and they did manage to get back to Australia.
Run away! Run away!
This was back in the days when radar was a fairly new thing and most of the ships didn't have it. So they were able to put up a smoke screen for the rest of the ships to withdraw.
Okay. Yeah. Because the smoke screen would stop visibility, and
Yep.
which made it easier.
The Houston was the largest ship there, which was an American heavy cruiser.
Yeah.
But
Well, radars back then were actually quite huge, so you had to have a fairly decent sized ship before you could have radar.
yeah, that
anyway.
was the thing. They didn't really have
Yeah.
any ships big enough to have radar at that time because it was
No,
really
that-
only the battleships and aircraft carriers that could support
Yeah,
it.
the Dutch aircraft carrier should have had the Dutch destroyer. Sorry, should have had one. Wouldn't the destroyers would have been big enough?
No.
I wonder if the Dutch.
No.
Well, the
kept-
destroyers are a class below light cruisers.
Ah, okay. That was my lack of naval knowledge. That's weird. Destroyer sounds bigger than a cruiser. So the Dutch brought Ceylon tea to Europe first, so some of the tea that was dumped in the sea was definitely Dutch. That's interesting. Yeah, American
Well, if
history.
it came from Ceylon as opposed to if it came from India.
Well, that's true. I don't know. We'd have to look that up.
I think the Ceylon changed its name.
Isn't? Oh no, Ceylon is in Sri Lanka, isn't it?
That's correct.
Geography is better than my war history.
So I understand the United States Senate is holding hearings on the Equal Rights Amendment for the first time since like 84, 85, something like that.
I had not heard about that.
Oh dear.
There was
Yeah.
some good news this week too. Well, actually, last week technically, I guess, for Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I announced that in last week's stream. That Minnesota had 2 bills that got through the state house for trans rights. That one of them will prohibit gender conversion in the state,
Oh yeah, you posted this.
and the other one is basically establishing a sanctuary, so welcoming trans people from any other state who need to get out.
There'll be a lot of them.
Minnesota has a majority Democrat in the Senate and a Democrat governor, so at this point, pretty good pretty good chance that they're both going to go through here.
When you've got the far right news groups, news companies in the US now talking about trans people not really being human and it's all right if we kill them, then you know you've stepped up the gauge in genocide.
Well, that's how we know they've
that's
gone full
happened.
fascist.
Yeah. What about that whole thing? Is it in was it in Florida where that Republican tried to put a bill in front of the House to outlaw the Democratic Party?
Yep, that's in Florida now.
I'm like, you what? Yeah, what? And you have the gall to think you're a democrat. You have the gall to.
The way they worded it was to outlaw any party that had ever endorsed slavery. So let's not worry about who are the racists now. Let's worry about who were the racists 150 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going 150 years plus, then you can say all the parties did at one point.
Yeah, didn't the Republicans endorse slavery toward at around,
like last week? Yes.
Like at other points in history. So, hey, cool. You get rid of both, and you might end up with some new, better parties.
Godless Granny said something to that effect on Twitter that, if they just do that and extend it to its logical conclusion, they'll outlaw all political parties.
Yeah, we'd have to have brand new ones. You guys would. We would.
Well, no, then we couldn't have any.
Here.
More like we couldn't have any political parties, and all the candidates would be forced to run alone on their own merits.
Which is basically the system that George Washington was pushing for. He stood against the idea of the concept of parties because it was so divisive. But he was kind of overruled.
You know who you need here at the moment with all the talk about destroyers and war stuff is May.
Let's see. The Green Party was founded in 2001, so I imagine that one probably could still stand.
Yep. Minnesota actually has quite an active Green Party, and we get representatives into the state legislature on a fairly regular basis.
The Green Party is basically a bunch of lunatics. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. They've had some people that will do anything just to get a vote or two, including with sitting at the table with Putin.
Oh, geez, not this garbage.
Well, there is photographic evidence of it.
Yeah, sitting there and actually doing stuff for long as cohorts is a pretty big difference there.
Yeah, but that's how things happen. It happens in small groups, unofficial. Discussions are had, decisions are made, and then
she was just invited to the thing, and she happened to be stuck right there. Come on, knock this bullshit off.
They have a long way to go to prove themselves to me.
NJ's put up an interesting point about destroyers on topic. The chat's on topic. Yeah, it's a shame I don't know more about the topic, Purple. I'm sorry. I really don't.
I don't have much on the topic either, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a 5th year anniversary show.
No. May 1st is the 5th year anniversary.
Oh.
NJ,
I got you all confused because I'm actually planning ahead for once.
Yeah, I'm definitely not used to that with you.
Yeah, basically the job of the destroyers was to provide anti-submarine and anti-aircraft fire for the larger ships. Although actually, 1942, they were finally taking airplanes as a serious threat, so fitting everything with any deck space that they could put an anti-aircraft gun on was the big fad.
Yeah. No, you have no excuse to be sleepy. I've had 6 hours sleep in the last 48 Yeah, 48 hours. Oh, if you don't include the time I was put to sleep to have surgery. Put to sleep. That's a bad way of phrasing that, isn't it?
NJ, I did not know that you were big on the naval warfare. That is one of my areas of study.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jenny will be back in a moment. I know that she's been having problems with her phone being kind of flaky.
No, we only
The
though according
bad
to your
rude jokes keep coming into my mind.
though
I
according
will
to your
censor them.
schedule, we only have about 9 minutes left.
Oh. It is a short one tonight.
No, Mage is an hour ahead of me.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that. So you'll
Yep.
be so it'll be
So
an hour.
we
from
still
now.
got an hour.
Hour and 9 minutes. Okay.
Okay, Mom. Bye.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about canceling the show or
Well, I'm kind of glad you didn't, because I needed this.
yeah, well, and I was thinking of that when I dropped it into your group. I was thinking that, well, you should be asleep now after the surgery and all, but I thought on the off chance that like if you woke up and just had nothing to do.
I haven't been asleep. So I got up at midnight and did 3,000 steps up and down the ward, and they're looking at me going, "You just had surgery. Doesn't it hurt?" And I go, "Well, this is stopping my IBS from playing up, which was hurting a lot." And hey, Jeff, and
Hey, Jen.
the adrenaline up was getting my adrenaline up was helping with the pain level. Not enough. They gave me some. I had some oxycodone earlier, and they've given me some tramadol now. So as long as I'm not moving too much on my right hand side, it's not too bad. How are you, Jeff?
I'm good. How's everyone else?
We should have a stream sometime just about surgeries and pain, even if we do it as a private thing, because.
Yeah,
That's true.
You
I've
could
got
have
to
a
have
stream
an
on pain management. That sounds
yeah.
good.
I've got to have an op later this year, but I'd sooner not get into the details of it on stream. So, but I think I'm going to be laid up for a couple of months.
Not many
Oh, you poor
surgeries, but plenty
bugger!
of
So
pain.
you're going to be like me, Jeff. I'm sorry.
I ain't
not
quite
laid
as
up
bad
at the
as what.
moment.
It's not quite as bad as what you've been going through, Jen. I'd say that much.
Yeah, but longer if it's a couple of months. Although, to be fair, by the
But
time
you've
I've had all the
been
surgeries,
in and out though, haven't you, for like ages?
no,
so
I've been in the hospital for pretty much 5 weeks straight,
Mm.
not out at all. So 5 weeks straight.
Mm.
But hopefully, given that I'm aside from the pain level, but I'm okay. I'm not dizzy. I'm not nauseous, which is amazing after general anesthetic. That might wear off.
I'm normally fucked
I
up
might
for a
get up tomorrow.
good day or so
Today.
after a general anaesthetic. So
Yeah, I'm normally vomity and diarrhea after general anesthetics, and so far it hasn't happened yet. But it does take up to 12 hours to start, so I
What a
wasn't
lovely,
feeling
what a
good at the
lovely
moment. I'm
discussion.
hoping it doesn't get worse.
Well, at this point, I am looking at the potential of what could be 3 unrelated surgeries in the next 2 years or so.
So Mel
So
wants to
kind
know
of
what
trying to
I've
psych
had.
myself up and prep. Each one has a recovery time estimated to be 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, you
Oh,
poor bugger.
fun.
Perps.
Well, that's about what I went through with my hernia surgery, so I got some idea of what it is, but
So,
Are they the 3 obvious ones that we know about? That kind of thing? Or you got something else going on?
well, the 2 obvious ones and the potential kidney donation.
I've talked about my health on several streams, Mel, so I don't know if Pet really wants me to go through it all again on this stream.
You can give a brief.
I can give a brief. Okay. I've got a heart condition, which means I've got a disease called sarcoidosis, which is an autoimmune disease, and it's caused granulomas, which are like little lumps to grow inside my heart. and one of those lumps has basically screwed up my sinus node, which is the part of the heart that generates your rhythm. So I've ended up with I had to diagnose all my conditions. I had to have a full lymph node biopsy where they take the whole lymph node out, and that was less than 3 weeks ago. And then I had a pacemaker installed, and I've also had another surgery which I won't talk about, which is the one I had today. But honestly, I thought it'd be the worst of them, but I actually think it's been the best. So that's just ridiculous. But I've got at least one more surgery in the future, but that'll be a few months down the track, and maybe another one as well. And if I'm really, really unlucky, I'll leave the little ones to remove some of the granulomas in my body. But hopefully not. Hopefully they can get it all under control with drugs now. So see what happens.
I was hoping
So
to have
enough for your pets.
I was hoping to have a brain transplant because this one isn't working very well anymore.
That happens with age. Mine's all been vague since I've been in hospital. So
I'm not old. I'm in my 40s.
Well, see, I can't get old because old is always defined as 5 years more than my current age.
I tell you what, I haven't felt older. I haven't felt my age up until the last 5 weeks. And I've felt it that, but I don't feel it tonight. I'm way too awake for what is it, nearly 3 a.m. Well, what, 2:30?
Okay, NJ has a trivia for you. My favorite ship is Mighty Mo. 10 internet points for the one that knows what its designation is.
Isn't Mighty Mo that catamaran warship that was built? No, I don't know what its official name is.
I know what its official name is.
I don't.
Anyone else have a guess?
They named a ship after the bartender in Simpsons.
I like that, actually. There we go. Mel's got it. The battleship Missouri.
Okay.
Missouri, yeah.
Missouri, that other whole completely hateful state.
Yeah, well, back then our country was united because we could all be racist against the same people. And we were fighting actual Nazis.
Diana's in chat. Hi, Diana.
We're
How
fighting.
you feeling, lovely?
We're fighting actual Nazis now. We're just not fighting them very well because there's so many people that just, oh, you're exaggerating. Yeah. Well, okay.
Well, I mean, just because they spout racist rhetoric and wave Nazi flags, that doesn't make them Nazis, does it?
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
guess it kind of does.
By the way, is this Mel B person here? Is this Mel B from the Spice Girls?
I was wondering that.
Yeah, I'm not sure who this Mel is.
If so, perhaps drop the link and we'll find out.
Well, the only Mel I know personally is Scientist Mel. Did not think that's who this was, so.
No, I would say Scientist Mel.
Probably not.
Unless it's Mel's alternative account. How are you doing, Diana?
Yeah, Diana, I really haven't heard from you since your stream on Sunday. So, Jeff, how's the strike going?
It's all a bit of a lull at the moment, which I suppose in a sense is a good thing because it means they're talking. The interesting thing is that the board of directors has basically stopped the CEO from being involved with the negotiations, which kind of tells me they're running out of patience with him a little bit, and he is the main obstacle to getting the dispute sorted out.
I
Well,
hate
if
it.
he's the
Diana?
obstacle, but they're getting him out of the way, that sounds like progress, huh?
Yeah, well, the CEO of Royal Mail actually had to go in and answer some questions for a parliamentary committee last week, and let's just say he did not do a very good job. So I don't think he's long for this world.
Could you put it a different way?
I'm
He's
thinking
not
he's
long
not
for
good.
his position anyway.
Yeah, definitely not.
He's crawling to the edge of the perch so he can shuffle off this mortal coil
Yeah.
and join the quiet bleeding invisible.
Let's put it this way. If it weren't for the fact that I could risk getting into trouble for saying things about my employer too badly on social media, he would have been a candidate for that little award me and Jen were doing.
Oh, yeah.
And I know at least 150,000 people that would vote for him. So
Maybe we should nominate him for the end of the year.
yeah, if he's gone from Royal Mail by then, he's going to get on the list.
That's understandable, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm your cannula sister, Diana. There you go. Now I can't put the cover back on it. I don't do that.
So, Mage, saw your video on the aphids.
Yeah.
Okay, if they have trouble climbing up the plants, how do they get there in the first place?
The eggs are usually laid on the plant themselves. So they're born on the plant.
But for the eggs to be laid there, that still requires an adult to get on the plant.
Yeah, they actually have two methods. The adults will fly to a new plant.
Okay.
Or actually, they can divide up sometimes. Some will fly, some will actually stay grounded and reapply the eggs right there where they are.
So do you milk your aphids?
No, but I'm sure ants do.
Okay. Just checking.
One species of ants keeps caterpillars, just so that they can milk the juices from them.
Yeah, there's lots of things like that in nature.
Yeah,
We think we're so much more intelligent, and quite often we're not.
Yeah, but the caterpillars they keep also eat the ant larva. So isn't that kind of like keeping a cow and feeding it your babies?
Well, it depends on how much you're into babies.
As long as they're cooked right, I don't mind.
Barbecue. Gotta go with barbecue.
Yeah, I just
Hey, these days we can't even afford the baby chickens. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the grocery store and the eggs were over $7.50 a dozen.
Jeez.
that seems a
I think
lot
they've
for.
started to come down a bit, but I haven't looked down this week.
Well, I checked my coop yesterday and I found 3 eggs, which is unusual.
Oh, you keep chickens.
I keep chickens.
Cool.
Unusual? What, they usually don't give you any at this time of year?
I usually only find 2 at most.
Well, you have said that you're having unseasonably warm weather. I'm sure that affects the birds.
Maybe.
Surely it should be a museum on Pearl Harbor, not in Pearl Harbor. Oh, I suppose it could be. It's a harbor. You could be in it. Yeah.
I was actually in Pearl Harbor briefly, on a U.S. warship.
Backstroke.
No, on the
Sorry,
USS,
sorry.
the LPD-9, the Denver. So, unfortunately, I was not able to actually get to the Arizona Museum, so I only got to look at it through the big eyes on the ship. The big eyes are these binoculars that are actually mounted to the deck of the ship, but they'll let you see literally miles away. So yeah, I not only have been coast to coast in the U.S., I've been all the way out to Hawaii. So this is why I don't have a lot of patience for the people in Europe who complain about most Americans don't have a passport and have never left their own country.
Your country's a lot bigger than Europe,
Yeah.
the whole continent of Europe.
Well, I've driven between Minnesota and New York a half dozen times. And that would be equal to driving from London to Rome, Italy.
Yeah.
But all of our countries are completely dwarfed by the continent of Africa. You could fit most of the other 6 continents in Africa.
Almost.
This is true.
Not quite.
Well, I did say almost.
You'd probably need to leave either North America, probably North America out if you're going to try and do that.
No, you can get North America, South America, Europe, China. Well, not all of Europe. I shouldn't say all of Europe. The northwest area of Europe. Germany, France, Spain, that kind of space. You can fit Japan in there too. I'm just trying to remember what the map looked like.
I know I've seen it at one point. I don't remember what all they included, but yeah.
Put it on camera. Let us see.
Well, I don't have the map pulled up here.
I would like to have a copy of that map to show to my favorite conservative pigs. Get them upset that we're so tiny. I bet you they won't believe. I'll bet they won't believe the truth of that. Oh no, you messed around with it. You shrunk those down, and Okay, dude, you still think Africa's a country, don't you?
It sounds like one of those no one would believe.
Well, I admit the first time I ever saw that,
Oh God!
it was pretty amazing. I'd never thought about it before, and son of a gun, it's that big.
Okay, I found one. Hold on, I'll bring it up here.
Hi, Diana.
Wow! Oh, gasti bata ko loko pa siya tayo ganimina.
See, it's so big it won't even all fit on my screen at one time.
There is to go on the egg thing.
Okay, but there you go. Spain, France, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Portugal, United States, Eastern Europe, India, China Part 2, and Japan. Yeah. And the UK is about the size of Madagascar, apparently.
That's about right, yeah.
Is that Greenland in there?
No, I don't think they got Greenland in here.
Yeah, you really can't fit all the other continents inside Africa, but you can fit quite a lot of them.
Yep. Quite a few countries.
Oh my.
Well, and the other thing, of course, is that you know, even some of our politicians have tripped on that and called Africa a country, and like Africa is like 50 some separate countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's, see that
these
map.
just-
Yeah, that map there. That's probably how Africa would look like if we hadn't colonized it, because it's not all straight lines everywhere.
Boy, these sardines are pretty shitty. What do you want for $1, I guess?
Go to the gas station and buy some sushi.
Oh, don't say that. I can't go and get anything.
You know it's fresh.
I could ring the buzzer and ask for some yogurt. She sounds nice. If I'll ring the buzzer now, they'll come panicking because I'm supposed to be asleep.
You could call DoorDash; they'll deliver to the hospital.
Not here, they don't.
Okay, NJ, I'm definitely gonna have to get you on a stream then, and we can talk about World War II warships.
Hey.
She's just afraid she'll scare us all with her hotness. That's all it is.
Well, see, I'm all about the technology, and technology always advances fastest during a war.
Mm.
Yeah, and pandemics apparently.
Well, I'm quite lucky where I am, because obviously Portsmouth's just down the road, so I've got a few historic ships I can go and visit. So.
Yep. And as far as size comparisons, Australia is roughly the same size as the continental U.S.
Yeah,
So
slightly
not
smaller.
including Alaska, but other than that.
Yeah.
Just marginally smaller.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But the difference is the population,
Oh, it's huge.
because in Australia, the population is all along the coast and hardly anyone lives inland.
Well, it's the wildlife in land. You see, no one wants to fuck with the wildlife.
Spiders, it's the spiders.
I always think it's hilarious when people who aren't in Australia say that, because, quite frankly, the wildlife that people have in the US is way more terrifying than what we have.
I mean, yeah, but come on, there's no other country in the world that's actually lost a war to a species of bird.
Species of bird, that's true.
Deadliest
So,
jellyfish in the world.
Would you explain that bird thing to me?
Oh, you didn't know about the emu wars?
No.
Ah, emu.
Mm.
Well, the Australian farmers decided that the emu have been too big of a problem, and the government had to do something about them.
I fell off the edge of the earth.
Yeah. So they put a bounty on the emus, and the people who took out the bounty lost.
Yep.
Let's bear
I have
in
no idea what you guys are talking about.
Let's bear in mind
This is
the
way too
Australian.
disjointed. Somebody speak complete sentences here.
Okay. The emu wars was basically three guys in a truck with a machine gun mounted on the truck went out to try and shoot as many emu as possible.
So they could get the bounty.
Yeah, and they ran out of ammo with a kill ratio of roughly one bird for every 100 shots fired.
And they got attacked by the bird.
Yeah, they got overrun by a mob of birds.
Yeah. You don't
Have you
really
seen
want to
that
get
those-
overrun by a mob of emus. They're quite dangerous.
Obviously not the most efficient way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you know, it says something that you lose to a bunch of birds and you're armed with a fucking Vickers gun as well. It's not good.
It was brilliant.
Well, they are exceptionally large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although they also don't go down the first shot either.
Oh no. Yeah.
Remember, they're 6-foot dinosaurs.
Yeah, pretty much. And their skin is like leather, and they've got these big thick feathers. One shot ain't gonna do it unless you get a headshot in.
I used to have a cigarette case that was covered in ostrich leather. It was pretty nice looking.
Yeah, there's not a lot of difference in the skin between an ostrich and an emu.
Oh God.
Would have been funny if it had been cassowaries.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're talking about miniature T-Rexes. That's a cassowary.
Yeah.
Whilst they're mostly solitary, they will hunt in packs. So if you went after the cassowaries like that and tried to round them out, they would gang up on they would literally hunt back and gang up.
Who's playing Dialing for Dollars in the background?
Oh.
Yeah, it's
All right,
wasn't
Diana.
sure.
You don't have to get up and turn it off.
Say what?
That doesn't matter.
Well, the main thing is that people just mute their mics when you're not talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
Tell us about how you're doing at the moment, anyway, Diana.
How I'm doing for shit.
Yeah, I heard that bit.
Oh God, I'm in pain. And they keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but NJ, at least you're bigger than Luxembourg.
Who? What?
The thing on my hand, Diana, is a surgical cannula.
What happened to you?
I had surgery today.
Why
I've
did
had
you?
3 lots. I've had three lots of surgery in the last 5 weeks.
Why did you have the surgery?
Because I have sarcoidosis.
She's a hypochondriac.
What is that?
Yeah. It's an autoimmune disease that causes granulomas to grow in your body. They're like little nodules. That until you actually have it properly diagnosed, they actually look like lymphoma or cancer. So that was a concern originally, but I don't have cancer, which is good. But one
I
of the
thought
lymph nodes.
psychodosis was just the Australian word for bicycle.
Not cyclodosis, sarcoid. Good joke though, Pips.
Sacraldosis. It's the inflammation of the sacraments from the church.
Yeah. That should happen more often and should block airways. Sorry.
No, that's not usually how the priests block airways, but
one of the granulomas grew on my sinus and I fucked it up, so I ended up having a pacemaker. So that's been my last 5 weeks, Diana.
I want some surgery, but
You want a transplant?
Well, that too. But I want an ablation on the nerves in my neck, and they keep putting restrictions on it.
Because you haven't had the kidney transplant?
No, they say my blood pressure is too high.
Oh. How high do they say is too high?
Well, my blood pressure hovers around between 180 and 200 over.
Okay, yeah, that's high.
Say again?
Yeah, that's high.
They have what?
I said that's high. That is high, yes.
Oh, yeah, that is high.
Yep.
Even
Very.
for me.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we are working toward the transplant, but unfortunately, my life has gotten far more complicated than it was when I originally signed up for that program.
That's okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
like I said,
even if I was in the US, unfortunately, Diana, I couldn't sign up because most of my organs have some granulomas in them, so I am not allowed to donate organs. So,
Well, I'm talking to the people at the transplant center, but
I still have to fill out that stuff that they sent me and you.
Yeah.
That grant stuff.
well, I have to work out when I can go there for the screening stuff. But right now, I've been putting that on hold because in 2 weeks we'll get the new schedule for Sloth Girls chemo.
Yeah,
thought you
well,
said it
Sloth
on 2
takes
weeks.
priority.
Yeah, so that's between my transitions and Sloth Girls chemo, I've wind up with having an awful lot of doctor's appointments to
How
schedule
is
around.
Soft Girl doing?
Perp, is it true that the actual surgery to extract a kidney is paid for by the donor? And that means you?
I don't know. They really haven't talked money with me lately.
Yeah, the transplant center has told me that all of my expenses will be covered.
Oh, good.
So,
So,
I'm assuming that
Fish,
it's Diana's insurance that's going to be covering all that.
which
That would be
is
nice.
the Medicaid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So yeah. So basically, your government's going to cover all your stuff. Thank God
Yeah.
that happens in Australia, because I would be bankrupt after 5 weeks in the hospital on 3 surgeries.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine for the surgeries. I've seen the bills for my stuff that is covered.
I've been
Yeah.
here 5 weeks. Most of them were in cardiac intensive care, and the cost per bed per day there is $5,000. So you
Yep.
do the maths on what it costs to keep me in hospital.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, if the Tory party ever got their fucking way here, we'd be paying for our fucking noses for it. But
Well, I just had a small procedure at the hospital last week. Yeah, it was really just a breathing test. So it's like I wasn't even checked into the hospital. It was just there for like an hour or so. And the bill for that came to almost $5,000.
For a pulmonary
Wow.
test?
Yeah. Basically, they're just trying to assess how much damage the COVID did to my lungs.
We're still going for a while, aren't we, Perps?
Yeah. Not
I
bit over half an hour yet.
I might wander and see if they can get me a. I don't want to ring the bell. I might wander and see if somebody can get me a jug of water. God, I'm thirsty. I'll be back.
Okay. You take care of what you need to get.
Daj go rostu. Oh, God. Oh, my.
We're
Yeah, I
pretty
really
bad with
want.
blood, aren't we?
I really want to get this neck taken care of, and they're giving me shit with that too.
Yeah, well, that's I was trying to. Unfortunately, they're being a bit vague about the information on that because I was hoping that we could incorporate me coming for the kidney screening along with you getting into your appointments to get your neck taken care of.
Well, it's just at this point, it's them giving me an appointment.
Yep. That's the problem, that without them giving us specific dates, it's hard to schedule.
Yeah. What I would like, and of course, what they will not do, I would like to go into hospital for about a week and then get the whole thing done back to front.
Yep. In your case, especially, that would seem a very sensible approach, but they're not going to be sensible because it looks like they'll cost more money this week, even if it would save money in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Might be sensible.
Yeah, well, why worry about your bottom line more than a week ahead, right?
Insurance companies
Really?
don't understand the concept of planning ahead or anything like that. They're only practiced at saying no. That's the only word they've ever learned.
Yep.
That's why they're Republicans.
Wait a minute. Ow!
Ooh. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit distracted here, but I'm having to refill my weekly pill minder while I'm chatting. So I gotta keep track and count how many pills I'm putting in each compartment.
Raj, no je, na coração.
I must escape for a bit. I am going to have a chat with my little water vessel in the bathroom.
Okay. We'll be here for another half hour.
Whatever that meant.
Yeah, Diane, I don't know if you were in here at the time it was mentioned, but we had the mention of basically having a stream about pain and pain management.
Oh, moo. I'm all over that one.
Yeah, I thought that might be something you'd participate in.
Definitely.
Yeah, especially how hospital personnel treat you when you're in pain.
Yeah, that'd be a good topic to cover in that.
It's not very complimentary.
Yeah, I'd say I still have a problem with the doctors not believing I'm in pain, and it's like, look here, 3 fingers I'm missing sections of. I know what pain is.
Do they still give you pain?
Sometimes, mostly just if I hit them wrong. If I hit the end of the stumps, it's really
Okay.
that can leave me screaming.
Hang on, end of the stumps. Oh,
My 3 truncated fingers.
yeah, I just remember that. I'm going to ask the question. I remember you showed us. Yeah. Do you get phantom pain as well?
The most annoying thing is I get phantom itches, that the ends of the fingers are itching and there's nothing there to scratch, so you can't fucking do anything about it.
Have you tried the whole mirror thing and the fake hand?
I've heard about that. I don't think of it when they're itching, but I have heard about that.
Apparently it works.
Yeah, I can
So all you need
understand
is
that, how you can kind of trick your own brain that way.
Yeah, so all you need is a mirror and so you need a mirror set up so that you can only see.
Now see, there's your first problem right there. This was one of the things that I did not realize until I was, in therapy for the transitioning.
Yeah.
That a big indication of my dysphoria is I have never had a mirror any place I have lived.
Oh, yes, you said this to me before, Perps.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
And, well, there's always the one over the bathroom sink, and I've disabled the light fixture over that.
Does Sloth Girl have one, though? They'd be a bit of a pain to go and borrow one just because you've got an itchy finger.
Yeah. No, it's something I'm working on. I actually, now that I'm actually paying attention to what I look like in public, I need to have a full-length mirror.
You only need a small, like a hand mirror, to be able to do the whole thing with the tricking your brain with the mirror to do a scratch.
Yeah, so far as I've gotten is a little makeup mirror.
Yeah, it might be something where if the scratching really annoys you at any time, it might be something worth setting up. And I was going to explain to you how to do it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So, see, there's plenty of videos on how to do it and set it up so that you can do it.
Yeah, like I said, it's something I don't think of at the time it's happening. Yeah. But yeah, I have seen, like news reports about that, and doctors talking about how they've used it in hospitals.
Yeah, especially for the one where the phantom, like if you've got a hand and it's clenched, so that your nails, it feels like your nails are digging in. So it's really, really painful. They've been able to use it to have people actually open up their phantom hands. So the brain goes, oh, it's open, there's no pain. So it is really kind of cool. It's also used as a parlor trick to trick people who don't have a missing limb into thinking their hand's been hit by a hammer, which is also cool, but for an entirely different reason. Yeah.
I could see the usefulness of that.
To be fair, anyone I could see the usefulness of doing that with, I'd rather actually hit them with the hammer. So
yeah, that's true.
I'm back. Are we talking about turfs?
No.
Jeff, can I just say, can you not send Posey Parker to Australia? We don't want her here.
Is she threatening to go there, is she?
Yeah, apparently she's booked in to give a talk
Hey.
somewhere.
I think you should give her a tour of the backcountry.
Jen,
Yeah, what's that
we
inhospitable
didn't
part
want
of
Ken Ham here, but you won't take him back.
Yeah.
I suppose at least Posey's only visiting, so.
Yeah. And besides, you sent us Katie Hopkins back, and we believe me, we tried to pawn her off on you, but you know.
You really did, didn't you?
So we'll get.
To be fair, if Posey came here and decided she wanted to stay, she'd probably get beaten up at some point.
To be fair, we're just trying to re-establish old traditions and like send all our undesirables to Australia.
Yeah, she's pretty much a convict, isn't she?
Well, now, what if you could manage to revoke her passport while she's at sea and then she can't land in any country?
Now that would be amazing. I'm sure she'd be allowed into the US, especially Florida.
Oh no, she wouldn't. They hate immigrants here.
Yeah, but she's a TERF. Florida would love her.
Yeah, I was always impressed how many countries would not let Stephen Anderson in. I was impressed with how many countries banned him from entering.
Yeah, what was that, like 39 at last count, I think?
wonder if we could
Something
get
like that, yeah.
Posey banned for her association with Nazis.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, you can ban people for association with Nazis?
The Australian government has a habit of refusing visas to people who are Nazis or hate mongers. That's why Anderson was banned from coming here. So
well, that explains why you don't have a Republican Party.
Yeah. But to be fair,
you've got the Liberals, though. They ain't that far off.
CPAC, which you've got in the US, there's an Australian part of CPAC, and it's one of the advisory councils for the Liberal Party in Australia, and they're the one who are funding Posey coming here. So I don't think we get legislation through to stop her coming.
Now, see, it is so strange just how the terminology works, because it's like, you know, Jeff is complaining about the liberals, and it's like, here the liberals are the good guys.
Well, technically, somebody who is liberal is still a good guy here. It's just for some stupid reason, our Conservative Party named themselves the Liberals. And they were never more liberal. They were always conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a smoke screen they put up.
What is the one I always laugh at? Is it Jamaica? Is it the National Party is the left-wing party and the Labour Party is the right-wing party? So,
wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's England. It's what they do.
And we thought we had it bad.
See, I mean, at least America has got the excuse that the parties actually swapped at one time, because at one time the Republicans were the more progressive of the two, but then that sort of changed over time. But
even so, the two names aren't really that indicative of whether they're left or right.
So there are actually people who actually deny that had happened.
Okay, I want to start a new party, and we're going to use the Kiwi as our mascot because it'll be the wingless party.
Yeah.
You could have the emu as your mascot.
Emus still have wings. They still use them to try and intimidate you.
I know, no, they don't.
Yeah, but
emu wings are teeny, tiny redundant things.
My turn?
Yeah, but the kiwis' wings are so small you can't even see them over their feathers.
Yeah, you can't see emu ones over their feathers either. They are really, really tiny. Aaron Ra showed the wings on his the wing bones on his pet emu, and there's just nothing on them. I mean, I've seen plenty of emus. Yeah, no, emus basically have no
Yep.
wings either. They also
Oddly
lost the
enough,
war,
there
so
are a
maybe
couple-
not a good example for a party mascot. No, they
Oddly
won the
enough,
war
there are a
against
couple of
humans. No,
farms
yeah,
in
emus are good
Minnesota
ones.
that raise emu. So I
There's
actually
heaps of emus in
seen
the
emu up
US.
close.
The place I get the chicken feed from, for my chickens, raises emus.
Oh, cool. The eggs are lovely.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that they were able to adapt to the cold climate.
Emus are pretty adaptable. They live all over Australia. Even you even get them down in Tassie, which I mean it snows down there. So yeah, I wouldn't imagine it'd be too difficult. The feathers keep them pretty warm.
Well, okay, it's snowing is one thing. Temperatures of 40 below is another.
Well, I don't know how cold it gets in Tassie. I've never been there. It's one of the states I haven't been to, so like to, but I haven't been.
You can take your 40 below and, well, never mind.
Take your temperature and shove it. We're not living there no more.
Hey, I'll admit that the winters can be kind of brutal, but everything else here is pretty good. I mean, the
I'm really
politics are
thirsty.
pretty bearable.
I'm really thirsty and I have the munchies. Is it possible I'm high on my pain drugs?
What really pisses me off about the U.S. as far as climate goes, the more comfortable you get, the crazier you get politically.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of goes along with just the people you have from the different regions and that. Because it's like the upper Midwest is mostly Scandinavians and Nordic people.
Yeah.
So very white.
Well,
Ugh.
very white, but you also look at where like Norway and Sweden and Finland fit as far as on the the religious scale and the general happiness of countries around the world.
Oh, that's true. Oh, look how happy NJ is.
Yeah, just a rather more laid back people.
Now, I've worked in South Carolina, and it's not all that bad, except for the people who live there.
Yeah, I only had
I
one.
had a similar observation about Kentucky when I went there. It was all right. It was all right apart from the people.
Yeah. I didn't object to my trip to the US, the bits I went to, even though one of them was Florida, but at the time Florida wasn't as bad as it is now. People were pretty cool. So in general, people were pretty cool. So it was all right. Too bad the company I had with me, but hey, what you gonna do? No, it was all right then. We were pretty early on in the relationship.
Florida man wasn't a meme at that time.
Yeah.
Florida man has always been a meme.
Florida man, yeah. Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, but it's nice to take Brandy down to Florida and get that will cashed in early.
My ex's husband, he was one who was from the US. His mum was an alcoholic, and we were staying with her, and this night Mike went to bed. Me and his mum were sitting up, and we were drinking, and I was trying to keep up with her. And you don't try and keep up with an alcoholic. I do not remember going to bed. Mike said he had to carry me, and I do remember waking up and I'd wet the bed.
Hence,
It's kind of embarrassing.
is that what happened with me? Is that what happened while you stopped drinking? You got tired of trying to keep up with me on streams.
I was wrecked that night, Jeff. It was
Well,
fun though.
to be fair though, you had done like Friday Night Six Pack before you came and did Critical Cupcake Show.
Yeah, I was trashed.
Hey,
Very
at several
trash.
points in my life, I've been in training to be an alcoholic. I've just never gone pro.
Given that I don't drink anymore, it's kind of amazing. So, I mean, I've got good reasons for not drinking anymore, but extra reasons now.
Okay. No, NJ, the main reason that Florida Man is such a thing is because Florida has an open records law, which basically means that anybody can go and look up the names of everybody who's been arrested this week.
And people have done.
They look for the weirdest thing that somebody was arrested for, like hunting for aliens in your underwear or something, and
Really?
they call it Florida Man.
Yeah, people do some weird shit.
Yeah, in a
People
lot of
come-
other states, that stuff doesn't become public record until the person goes to court.
No, it's perfectly acceptable to chase aliens when you're naked up here. What's the problem?
Well, you have to make it fair, so if they catch you, they can probe.
Florida, you're not allowed to have any. You're not allowed to have any freedom. Freedom is absolutely against the law in Florida.
Well, what do you
Well,
expect?
and Ron DeSantis is now at war with Walt Disney. I mean, good luck with that.
Yeah, the
he
problem
actually-
is you can't trust
he actually
Disney to come
won.
on the side of good.
The battle he got into with Disney, he actually won, and Disney is now under the state's control instead of being independent.
Is it? What?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah,
That's been going on for over a year.
Damn.
I don't know if he actually won, though.
He won.
what-
There's a
what
law.
he-
They've taken away Disney's privilege. That's what his object
Right.
was.
Okay, but what he won was giving the state a lot more expenses without getting any of the income.
No, now he's going to be able to tax the shit out of Disney.
To be fair, that probably should have been a thing in the past.
mm,
It was, but not as much because they were paying for all the services that taxes normally do by themselves. So the tax bill is going to go up, but their actual expenditures aren't going to go up. It's just
Yeah,
who you're paying it to.
Okay, NJ, Disney is not in any way government run. As far as if they're a bad company, they're a very capitalist company. They just do whatever they think is going to get them more money. They don't really care about
Yeah.
much of anything else.
And,
Oh, exactly.
and
Like
in the
any company,
past,
huh?
That's what I said. They're just very capitalist.
Well,
in
that's
the past
kind of
they've
all
been
companies,
very
don't it?
racist and then homophobic and then transphobic, but they are
No,
also
they're not. They're
progressing.
not. They're not. They have gay pride days all the time at Disney.
I said
Okay,
in the past, Jenny, they have changed.
Okay, and as far as the gay pride days, those have never been a thing that was officially sanctioned by the company. They're just a thing that groups organize. But Disney was perfectly happy to go along with the anti-gay legislation in Florida until 2,000 of their employees walked off the job on the same day because of it. Then they completely flipped, and then they were all gay supporting.
Well, that's how we learn lessons, isn't it?
and they basically managed to piss off everyone by doing that.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That they're being capitalistic. They were trying to do what they thought would be popular at the time. They didn't really care either way. They just wanted to do whatever was going to get the most people to come to the theme park.
Basically, like every corporation.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the capitalist ideology.
Well, if you're all smart, you will stop bad mouthing all the corporations because we sure need their asses again to help beat back this tyrannical lust towards LGBT people that they want to have us all exterminated.
Right.
We're going to need to have all the help support we can get. And if you're going
Yes.
to
I
badmouth
agree,
people that
Jim.
potentially can help us, you're just foolish.
Well, we need their support, but in the case of corporations, we need to kind of force their support by getting public opinion against them.
Mm. Precisely. You can have a united front on certain things. Doesn't mean you don't criticise them at the same time.
Is support and pretending to be for something the same thing, though?
I didn't quite hear you,
When
mate.
if it swings the pendulum your way, it doesn't matter. I don't care how much money they make up of us. They can all fly the rainbow flag and make millions off of it if they want, as long as they make sure that we're not murdered.
Better the devil you know.
Well, exactly. Well, why should I have to die because somebody doesn't like the corporation's attitude about the gay people? Screw you. Politics is like a bus.
No.
You don't get exactly where you want to go with a bus. You get close,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll walk the rest of the way.
If you're lucky, they'll put a bike rack on the bus.
Did you say butt crack on the bus?
No, bike rack.
Oh, okay.
Damn it, Jen.
To be fair, most people put their butt crack on the bus.
Well, there's some
But
butt crack.
usually they've got clothing in between. So.
Well, just seeing the way Jen's taken this conversation, it's good to see you're feeling much better.
I think I'm high. So.
Yeah.
I think you are a bit high the way you're talking, yes. But, you certainly
I'm also
deserve it.
munchy. I
After surgery,
asked
they
for
better
food.
give you the good painkillers.
Yeah,
Really?
I haven't. I've had 2 lots of opiate derivatives, and I've had some tramadol. So
Or just come over to the States and they give you some Tylenol.
Yep.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
had
that's if
oxycodone
you're in
and whatever
serious
they gave
pain.
me and some pethidine during surgery. So yeah, I'm a bit high.
If
In
you're in
charge of-
serious pain, they'll give you ibuprofen.
And charge you $30 a
No,
pop
they
for
won't.
it.
They will not give me ibuprofen.
In the U.S., they will.
No, they even in the US they wouldn't give me ibuprofen. I'm allergic to it. So
Oh, yeah, they'd still give it to you.
no,
Well, like I
they
said,
probably.
Like-
If somebody gave me ibuprofen at the moment, it would probably kill me.
Like I
Because
said,
mate,
you get Tylenol.
yeah, because ibuprofen causes heart palpitations, which would cause my pacemaker to go shit crazy, which would probably kill me. So no.
I find if I take a high enough dosage of ibuprofen, I get a little loopy.
Really? From ibuprofen?
Yeah, it will have to be a fairly high dose.
Well, it thins your blood,
Yeah.
so yeah, you'd end up lightheaded and stuff. So
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's
I
actually going to be my biggest issue with the kidney problem. If I do the kidney donation, that won't be able to take NSAIDs anymore. So basically, it means that there won't be anything I can take for my arthritis. I just have to learn to live with that.
You'll fall into the category I do. I can't take any NSAIDs, so they give me opiates.
Ah.
I've been
Yeah,
on
so you
opiates.
can't. So hang on, you
2.5
can't take
years.
NSAIDs. So you can't take aspirin,
Nope, still
Shit.
in the same family.
but you'd need that for your heart condition.
I am taking like 1/4 aspirin a day, and that was by
Plus warfarin. Right? You're on warfarin.
Nope, no ibuprofen,
Wow.
no naproxen.
They'll give you some something serious though.
Yeah,
It's
I-
gonna
I
depend
can-
on your doctor whether or not they'll actually prescribe that stuff.
I'm on 10 milligrams of hydrocodone every day, two tabs at a time. So I'm banging 20 milligrams of hydrocodone at a time.
It would be
And that's-
nice because that's one of the few things I've ever found that can actually help me sleep.
Melatonin helps me sleep.
The first week of it, I got a little loopy, and after that, you don't get loopy at all unless you increase the dose hugely, and then you're running the risk of respiratory depression and death. so I don't do that.
I've been on it short term. You know, they gave it for me when I got my fingers cut. And then the doctor chewed me out when I asked for a refill on it. On my 2-week follow-up because, yeah. Well, in the emergency room, they gave me a prescription for 10 hydrocodone.
Oh boy.
And
Seriously,
2 weeks
chewed
later,
me
I'm
out
asking,
has an entirely different meaning in Australia.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, I'm asking for a refill on it, and the doctor's bitching me out about overusing it. That's like, do the math. That's less than 1 tablet a day for getting 3 of my fingers cut off in a power saw.
My
Because this
boyfriend
is
chewed
not
me out
being a
last
drug
night.
addict.
He should
This
do it
is
more often.
responsible use. Oh, hey, Stool.
My system is so screwed up.
Mel, what have you got against cholesterol meds?
You're breathing a bit strained there, Jenny.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
I'm not breathing at all.
I think
That's
that might have been Jeff.
someone else's breathing. I've been hearing
That's someone
it too.
else's breathing?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that may have been Jeff.
Possibly.
You okay there, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Is Jeff breathing? Who's breathing? Admit it. Come
That's
on.
what I said. That sounds like what I sound like when I get up and do any walking or any other exercise at the moment because of the granulomas in my lungs. I end up struggling to breathe.
Okay, folks, I did say I was going to have to keep this a short one, and we're going to have to close down in less than 10 minutes here, so I guess we could do the go around here for the end.
Yeah.
Diana, you still with us?
More or less.
Okay, well, you have any closing comments?
Not much. No, I'll be back on Sunday, and we'll do our usual thing. And
Okay, so you're not going to be doing an evening stream tonight?
no, I don't think so.
Okay, let people on Twitter know.
Okay. I gotta get rid of some of this pain before I can do much more.
Yeah.
Really bad when you have to spend your entire day in bed horizontal because that's what makes it hurt a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do that. I have to sit up.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
my.
Diana. I certainly hope they get on top of something and do at least some surgery for you soon to alleviate pain.
Yeah, I'd really like that. I'd like it a whole lot.
Both lots. That's what I'd like to see for you within the next 6 months is that you get both lots.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dale Corosto.
Okay. Jeff, you got anything coming up?
I got nothing scheduled at the moment. As I say, that generally tends to be the case with me that someone I'm sure will do something really fucking stupid that I'll feel the need to react to. That generally tends to happen. So spoiler alert, it's normally Atheist Alliance International.
Okay, Jenny, you got anything happening?
No, I have no life. Thank you.
No. We love you, Jenny.
Jen, I don't think you're aware. I got banned from Twitter permanently.
No, I'm aware. We talked about it earlier.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're still on Discord.
It'd be nice if people could come to a Purple Discord once in a while and say hi. You know, I've had about one message every 3 weeks. It seems.
As I'm not at home, not discording very much. Sorry.
Well, my
I might-
Discord doesn't get used for much of anything except the links for these shows.
Some might actually have to start using Discord, which
Well, if people could just give me a go to Discord and write me a private message and give me their other contact info so I could still have some friends, that would be nice. But nobody seems to want to do that.
I might start. I run my own server now that's not at my home. It's remotely. I'm paying for it. I might actually set up my not a Mastodon, but I might set up my own messaging board.
I shut my Discord server down like months ago because I just don't use it. So
Yeah, Jen, if you could set up a private messaging board that we could, basically get the whole atheist and trans communities from Twitter over there.
I could easily set that up.
That
Well,
would be very useful.
It
because,
may not happen till I'm back home.
Yeah,
and because it's a pain in the ass doing it from the laptop, but it's something I might start looking into once I'm back out of hospital.
well,
Give
everybody
me
keeps
something to
talking
do.
about what's a good place to go for that stuff, and yeah, we really haven't found a solution that people generally agree on.
Yeah, well, I'm running my own mail server at the moment too, and it's quite capable of handling more than one domain name. So it is a conceivable thing that if maybe a few people chuck a few extras in my Patreon, maybe I can afford to get another domain name for us and everything, and configure it all up and have enough data available in there for all of us, so that we can basically tell Twitter to fuck off if we wanted to.
We should all go over and start a trans group on Truth Social.
No,
They wouldn't let you through the door.
Okay, well, Jen, other than hospital stuff, I don't expect you're going to be doing much of anything.
well,
for the next couple of weeks.
hopefully I'll be out of hospital again tomorrow.
Oh.
I've been up and walking around and doing shit, and aside from painkillers, I think I'm okay to go home. But I think they'll want to boot me out of here so they get the bed back. And I'm like, well, I won't go home. I'll go to my niece's. But if I go to my niece's, I'm hoping to set my StreamYard up again so it's streaming to my YouTube channel, and I might do a couple of streams where I sit and talk occasionally because I'm bored, especially during my day time, which is good because that's an evening for you lot. Aside from that, I'm going to hop on other people's streams because I'm bored. Basically, I'm bored. So yeah, you might actually see a bit of me.
Okay. Mage, you got anything coming up?
Well, I got a garden tour coming up pretty soon here. I'll probably be filming that within the week, and then it'll be up on Tuesday. So that's what I got going.
Cool.
Okay, well, I just, my regular stuff. We'll be back here tomorrow night at 10. Excuse me. And, next week, Wednesday at noon, Thursday at 10 p.m. The Shills is really no longer doing a Saturday show, so I'm trying to make the show they're now doing at Friday night at 6 p.m. Central. Unfortunately, Friday evenings tend to be busier for me, so I don't make that one real often.
I haven't heard about that show.
Basically, it's the same show they used to do on Saturdays, but they do more of, what kind of a rundown of what's currently in the news and what kind of stupidity is in the news mostly.
Well, I guess I'm not invited. Hey.
there's usually a lot of stupidity in the news, so
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, with that, I'd like to thank my supporters. The Lavender Lady here.
Who the hell is that?
The purple bitch.
Yep. Kitty the Atheist, Robert X, Greg Hartwick, who's in the side chat pretty much on every show. Southern Sal, Vonrick, and Skits Crasher.
Hi, Skit.
Oh, and you get link to Alex's GoFundMe into the
Oh, yes,
main chat.
sorry. I forgot to mention that. I've been trying to cram so much into this show. Yes, we
Who's going to
are.
go from me? Sorry.
Alex, the Melzebub's partner.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't quite got the schedule or even decided what date it's going to be, but we are going to be doing a fundraiser for Alex.
Is this for the
needing
shift?
needing $1,400 to get themselves and their service animals to Germany. So, originally we had thought it could be done for like $1,000, but then we started looking into how much the airlines were going to cost for the dog. So yeah, we need at least $1,400 to cover that.
Yeah.
And don't you have to quarantine when you get the dog there?
I'm sure they do. I'm not sure what the current laws are. They've already taken care of that. They have living arrangements made in Germany. It's just a matter of getting them there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, with that, I will bid you all a good day, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Tayo Korosto.
Goodbye, chat.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.